I am an extreme introvert, by which I do not mean I don't have any social skills or would be some kind of a weirdo. I am a normal lad. Okay, sometimes I may be a bit weird. But it's not like I lack any communication skills. In fact, many say I am a good speaker and I know how to express myself. It's just that I don't want to talk to people most of the time. And by saying introvert, I mean I recharge my inner batteries in solitude. Fellowship is good, don't get me wrong, but too much of it makes me so tired and I just try to avoid people. The last months I've even had some days where I didn't speak a single word to somebody the whole day, just because it's too much effort. It's stressful and all I want is to be alone. Alone, I feel stress-free, at peace and so much happier than around people. This is one thing about me, but another one is I love studying languages. I speak 3 languages fluently, I know Latin, and I work on Chinese every single day. Now the problem, or rather the challenge is, in order to learn a language, you actually need to speak it. And don't try to tell me all you need is comprehensible input and that alone is enough to become fluent. That's BS. If you don't speak in that language, you cannot learn it. Basta. I have some Chinese friends and I have a practice call once a week, which is super fun, but clearly not enough to improve and progress as quick as I wish to. I'd love to do it more often. Not too often though, because I need my time alone. And in addition, I have been working over 60 hours a week recently. 6 days a week and overtime almost every day. Because I'm trying to save up as much money as only possible for my travels right now. But at the same time, I also want to improve my Chinese. And if I wouldn't do something for that goal in one day, that day would feel wasted for me and like a failure. And that all leads to the question, how do I do it? Well, in times of that very high pressure on one side and that very determined goal on the other side of studying Chinese daily, I invented some techniques. Well, first of all, I talk to myself in that language like a crazy schizophrenic. Just basic daily conversations like this. 我快饿死了。太好吃了，因为这是我做饭的。Finally， 休息时间。我觉得有一点累了。I just simulate random conversations and imagine myself in these potentially real encounters. This is something I can do whenever I'm free or while doing something that does not require too much of my attention. In the last weeks and months I've been working as a laborer building sports floors, and during that work I could do that a lot because I was just doing the same movements all the time. I was at work physically, but with my head I was somewhere completely else. But now, because I'm not very creative and cannot come up with good topics sometimes, I use some kind of inspiration. I listen to certain Chinese podcasts or repeat programs where they just repeat basic, easy sentences. I just mimic them like a parrot and change them slightly so that I can use them for my own imagination and my own conversations.
他高兴地走了，他高兴地走了。你可以介绍自己吗？你能不能介绍？
Now, very important, the point is not to speak perfectly and without any mistakes. That would only be possible if a fluent speaker of that language would accompany me all the times to correct me. The point is merely to speak at all. I just want to improve and develop my Chinese brain to be able to produce the language quicker and naturally. I believe speaking with mistakes is still better than not speaking at all. It has a lot to do with attitude. Now that's basically already the whole secret. If you don't have any friends like me and you're just chilling at home most of the time, this is the only thing you can do. The question is rather how you do that in the best way without getting bored too quickly and without doing too many mistakes, which are also very difficult to get rid of later. And this is why it's important to use native content to listen to something, because then you hear at least correct sentences. Now I spoke about listening and repeating. listening and adding your own information and thereby creating your own conversations. By the way, if you don't have a job like I had in the last months, where it's not automatic and you need to talk a lot and it requires your focus, then you can still do that technique on the bus or while driving the car. We all have these moments in life where why am I holding up my fingers? We all have these moments in life where we're just waiting for something. And most of the time, people are just scrolling on TikTok. Don't do that. Invest your time into improving your language, because you always think, no, I have to be at home. I have to have the book in front of me. Everything has to be comfortable. I need to, set up my learn environment. No, most of the time, you're on the go. You're busy. And this is the time where you can also improve already. Of course, not as good as comfortable at home, but it's better than not doing it at all. Now, if you are at home and have some spare time, you can do exactly that. You read something actively and you see the conversations on paper. And there you do the same thing. Just add up things and you modify it slightly and just start talking to yourself.
北京的房子比上海更贵。你的手机比我的手机更贵。今天真热。That is actually very true for today. The air conditioner is running all the time. 不好。No， 今天的天气很好，我的地方有30 degree. No, to say degree 度。OK， 今天在这里的地方是30度，差不多30度。
Now, the most fun part is to do that with movies. Unfortunately, my Chinese is not good enough yet to watch movies in Chinese, but I do that a lot with Russian. Russian is my second mother language, но потому что я очень редко на русском разговариваю. И как-то надо чего-то делать, чтобы этот язык был свежим. And so I watch a lot of Russian shows, and I don't just watch them, I comment on them in Russian all the time. If you would watch a movie with me, I'm not one of those guys who's just sitting there and just watching quietly. I'm always commenting and laughing and screaming and stopping the movie sometimes and repeating the conversations, because these are real life conversations which you could encounter in your life if you have the courage to go out of the house like me. And then you are prepared because you actually have been in these conversations already. Now, Poison, ты чё совсем? Сейчас мы поможем. Now you see, it's not a secret sauce or anything special. It's something everybody can do. Our lives may differ in terms of work and our circumstances and our relationships, but we all have so much in common, like this time where we're not surrounded by anyone. And I'm of the opinion that this is the best time for you to practice your target language. Alright, I hope that helps. Bye bye, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, до свидания. Wale, 再见.